Hello there. Quite the storm, huh? Oh, come in. You must be freezing. You've come a long way, haven't you? I thought so. I know a weary traveler when I see one. So, do you have a reservation? No? Well, the good news is, we do offer a vacancy, and we've got plenty of rooms available. Which is funny, considering October is always our busiest time of year. I guess it's because we have that haunted, spooky vibe everyone's looking for. Whoa, calm down. I was only joking about the haunted part. Or was I? Well, you didn't hear this from me, but according to the legends, the spirit of a young widow still floats through these halls, forever doomed to be separated from her one true love, never to leave the confines of this inn. It's just an old legend. Nothing you need to worry about. I'm 1,000% sure that this place isn't haunted. Okay, that was weird. The lights just flickered as soon as I said that. It could just be a power outage. It's alright, everyone. It's just a little flicker. Nothing to worry about. Alright, now if you could tell me your first and last name so I could put it into the database, that would be great. That name. I'm sure I've heard it somewhere before. Then again, it's a pretty common name. At least in these parts. Right, here's your room key. Your room is the 5th floor on the left. Supper will be served at 6 o'clock, and we're having chili and garlic bread. My grandmother's special recipe. I agree. I can't think of a more suitable choice for a cold, wet, rainy October day like today either. And if you need anything else, just let me know. You're welcome. Happy to help. For goodness sake, is it really that impossible for me to go one day without people walking through me and ignoring me as if I don't exist? If you only knew how many times someone has walked through me today. I understand that being unable to see me doesn't help matters, but still. I'm sure the receptionist downstairs has told them a thing or two about this place being haunted, so you would think that they'd be a bit more mindful. Oh, dear, are you alright? You look sort of pale, like you've seen... You can't actually see me, can you? You can? I can't believe it. It's been so long since... Hey, you can't just put your hands through a ghost without asking. Bad manners, you see. Yes, it does feel strange to me, and because to some of us, physical touch is like getting one of those electrical shocks. It's the same with us touching a living person. See, if I were to reach out and touch your shoulder like that, not a good feeling, is it? But you can't help it. You're curious and excited, so I will let the matter pass. I do have a slight inquiry of my own. You wouldn't happen to know anyone by the name of Victor Hart, would you? I thought not. I swear you look just like him. You have his eyes. The exact same color. But you're not him. You're not my Victor. He died years ago, before you were born. On our wedding night. You don't need to apologize, but I appreciate your sympathy. He was the kindest, most loving man I'd ever met. In a bright, warm light, in an otherwise cold world filled with darkness and shadow. I'm surprised you haven't run away in fear yet, like most people would if they saw me. A real, living, breathing ghost. Well, maybe not living exactly. How now? You know it's impolite to ask a lady of her age, do you not? Oh, but if you wish to know, and because I asked you a question, I suppose it's only fair that I answer yours. Though I guarantee you'll be shocked when I tell you. Well, as of October 13th, I am 250 years old. I look impressively fit and healthy for a 250-year-old woman, don't you think? And on the bright side, I don't have a single pimple on my skin that I need to get rid of. One of the perks of being a ghost. What? What's so funny? Oh, because my birthday is on the 13th. Yes, I do tend to bring out my more spooky side when my birthday falls on a Friday. Like this year. I couldn't help but do a little haunting just for the guests. Nothing too scary. Nothing that would cause them to have a heart attack or faint. Just making the lights flicker. It's how I greet people. Let them know that I'm here. Why, yes, that was me making the lights flicker when you arrived. It wasn't a fuse acting up or the electricity acting up because of the storm. Speaking of which, I do hope everyone finds a safe place to stay. I haven't seen it pour this hard since a couple months ago. Now then, if I may ask you another question, and this one's slightly more relevant, well, more or less, how are you able to see me? Well, it's just that in most cases, people who possess the ability to communicate and or see ghosts or spirits, they've had something happen to them. Like head trauma. Mostly caused by falls or from a dreadful accident. Or the gift is bestowed upon them by a loved one who has passed away. Sometimes that happens. Or maybe they've seen a ghost in their lifetime. Or maybe they're actually born with the ability. You can never really tell unless you ask. But you want to make sure it's okay to ask. You know. Oh, I don't talk like someone who has been alive for 250 years. Well, when you meet as many people as I have, you sort of pick up on their mannerisms and their speech patterns. Things like that. Anyway, how are you able to see me? Oh. You've lost someone. No, you don't need to go into any details if you don't want to. I understand it's very, very painful. I guess... I'm sorry, that was too forward of me to ask. I mean, I know how you feel. I lost my husband the day before our wedding. He was out with some friends and colleagues, celebrating his last night as a bachelor. He was a friend of the family, and we basically grew up together. And then there was a big fight at the tavern, and he was one of the casualties. I never even got to say goodbye. I became very ill shortly afterwards, and the doctors, they couldn't do anything to help me. I wasn't ill in the way that most people think. I didn't come down with some sort of terrible sickness. Though I suppose love sickness is a thing. Some say I died of a broken heart, which is true. Victor was my everything. My heart and soul. My reason for breathing. And when he was gone, it was as if a part of me went with him. And it was never the same. I appreciate your sympathy. And I express my deepest condolences. And I express my deepest condolences for your loss. I understand the pain you feel when you're separated from the one you love and care about. I suppose now you understand why I was surprised when I saw you walk into the room earlier. It was as though I was seeing him again for the first time. No, I haven't seen him since the night of the party. That's why I'm still here. Bound to this place. Bound to this earth. You see, when a ghost or spirit has unfinished business in this life, they remain trapped where they died, unable to leave, until said business has been fulfilled. What happens when I try to leave? Well, you know how in the stories when vampires venture out into the sunlight, they turn to ash or stone? No, they don't sparkle in the sunlight. Where'd you get that idea? Oh, Twilight. Ask any vampire and they'll tell you that Twilight is not exactly accurate when it comes to information about vampires. Anyway, for us, it's sort of the same thing. Except there is an invisible line that we cannot cross. So I could stand in the doorway of the inn, but I can't go past the driveway. And Victor, he could stand in the doorway of the inn, or the tavern, but he can't leave. You know? He is also unable to leave the premises or go into the afterlife. The only way we can be together is if someone finds a way to reunite us, which hasn't been all that successful. You know, because when people see a ghost or spirit, they just run. They just run. They don't even stay long enough to get to know me. You wanna... No, I can't ask that of you. Why would you help a complete stranger with such a complicated task? I'm not surprised, though. He was the exact same as you. Never once turning away a person in need. Alright, if you really wish to help, I'm going to need you to go into the last room on the right, and in that room, there's a safe, where our 2 wedding bands are. I've tried going through the walls and retrieving them myself, but I can't open the safe with my mind like some spirits can. Odd, right? I've been a ghost for this long, and I still don't know how to use my brain powers. Right, there should be a code written down in a notebook on the reception desk, disguised as a computer password. No, it's not a computer password. I've tried it in order to look at cat pictures. Like the receptionist's husband does. You're right. We'll need to come up with a plan. Oh, that's the dinner bell. You should probably get going, or else you'll be late. Staff are really finicky with schedules. Will I be joining you for dinner? Well, we'll have to see about that, won't we? My name? Oh, how clumsy of me. I've forgotten to introduce myself. My name's Agnes. Agnes Hart. And you are? It's a pleasure to meet you. It's nice having a friend who I can talk to. Speaking of which, yeah, I will see you tonight. Bye. Enjoy your dinner.
A few moments later.
There you are. I was starting to think that you might not come back. I hope the food was as good as it smelled. Oh, I'd give anything to be able to taste human food again. You had 2 bowlfuls? Well, I guess that answers my question. So, I came up with a plan while you were gone. I can't write it down because, I can't hold pens or paper. But it's all up here, in my head, right in my noggin. You have a plan too? Oh, well, let's hear yours first, and then I can tell you mine, and we'll see what we can do. Okay. Alright, that sounds doable. Although, I was thinking, since you appear to have that sort of professor look about you, you could pretend to be a professor at the local college and say that you and your class are going to be doing a thesis on the history of the ghost of Agnes Hart. I mean, if they give you a good explanation, they'll have to believe you. You've got that face, that innocent face that you could probably tell the biggest lie in the world. You could probably tell me that the earth was flat, and I would believe you. I mean, you could tell them what I've told you. You could tell them that you've been talking to a pretty ghost lady and she wants to be reunited with her dead husband. And the only way to do that is to steal the rings from the safe. But there's a bit of a problem. They might not believe you. I'm just being frank here. Most people don't believe in ghosts or spirits, or their version of the afterlife might be a little different than yours or mine. And as a result, they might think you've lost a few of your marbles if you tell them all of that. And trust me, that is not a good feeling. To be told that you've lost your marbles or that you're making things up. Yeah. You think my plan's better? I mean, your plan was really good. I mean, it had a couple of, what's it called? Plot holes, I guess you could say. But, I mean, we could combine both of the ideas and see what we can do. No, you probably shouldn't tell them that you're talking to a ghost lady. Yeah, you're right. It is a cool thing to talk about and brag about, but yeah, let's just keep the whole ghost thing under wraps, and we'll say that you and your class are doing a thesis on me, and want to bring the rings into class to show them. I may have thought this plan over once or twice. That's how I was able to come up with it so quickly. Well, it's getting pretty late. Tell you what, I'll leave you alone for tonight. Let you settle in. No doubt you'll need plenty of rest after your ordeal. You know, traveling in the rain, looking for a place to stay on short notice. Where are we headed anyway? That is a long way from here. Right then. I will let you rest, and we can reconvene tomorrow after breakfast. Sound good? Very well. Get plenty of rest, and I'll see you in the morning. Again, it was really nice to meet you. And I meant what I said. It's nice to have a friend.